I'd say a few words as we come to conclusion. The glory of God must be the aim of everything we do. When I was a young pastor, a long time ago, culture began to change among Bible-believing churches. The old ways began to be less popular, and the way of conducting things began to change in many churches. I have to say the Anglicans were the first to throw out the old and bring in the new. They were the first to innovate, but many, many evangelical nonconformists soon followed suit, and things changed. There was a magazine was published from the 50s, and in the early 60s it carried a kind of campaign constantly to modernize, become informal, relax everything, change the culture, change the tone. It packed up after a few years, but it was called Crusade magazine. And it was at its height in the early 60s and very popular among evangelical people, and this let's relax everything came in. So people were told, don't call your services services, call them meetings. Don't have services of worship, have meetings. Well, that was revolutionary when it started. A service of worship might put people off, so we'll relax and we'll call it a meeting. Won't be anything threatening, won't be anything authoritative, anything formal. And don't call your preacher a preacher, call him a speaker. We'll have a meeting next Sunday, 11 and 6:30, and the speaker will be, we're getting away from church, you see. We're getting away from things that are associated with God. And make it informal. And the person who is leading that meeting, who may not be the speaker himself, must tell little jokes and be very informal and all the rest of it. And as time goes by, get rid of your tie. Get rid of your suits. Go onto the platform in a t-shirt and jeans. Your meetings now and speakers and t-shirts and jeans. It's all coming down, super relaxed. Of course, contemporary Christian worship came in. Things borrowed wholesale from the world, which smacks much more of entertainment than worship. We'll get away from anything threatening, anything authoritative, anything about God. We'll rejoice in the trivial and the nonsensical and the little and the small. The glory of God has gone. It isn't there anymore. We didn't want the glory of God. And that's happened in countless churches. And they've been the losers. This is change in culture. In everything we do, we want to preserve the glory of God and his authority. You know, 50 years ago, pretty well everybody ordered their services of worship in the same way. Now people sometimes will say to you, I followed the tabernacle online, and one person takes the whole service. This is shocking. This is awful, terrible. And if they're telling you this face to face, you're able to say, well, 40 years ago, you wouldn't have seen anything else in any church anywhere. That was always the way. That was the custom for generations and for generations. And that preacher or pastor who led the service, he was to follow the rule, Christ must increase, I must decrease. So he would do it formally and carefully and honor God and not intrude himself and not squeeze his personality into every inch of the service, and his jokes, and attract attention to himself, and attract applause. And applause, that was an abomination. You couldn't do that. And people were converted. People came into the house of God, and they knew God was there. The glory of God was paramount. It was for him. So the glory of God must be at the heart of everything we do. Now, it's lightweight all the way in so many places. That's the tragedy of it.